Hello and welcome back to the WHL show. Thank you so much to everybody who is tuning in today. I know that we've had a little bit of a break. I've personally been dealing with some health issues and have just needed to take some time away. So I appreciate everybody's patience as we had a little bit of a hiatus there. But we are back and are here with all of the WHL postseason recaps that you may need. We're going to give you a quick rundown over the players of the week for last week and this week, as well as talking, and the week before as well, just to give a good little highlight of some players here. And then we're going to go over the first round results for everybody, so we can just do a quick little recap on who won what series and how many games. We can also compare those to our own personal brackets. I was going so strong until the last couple games, and then I think I got 6 out of the 8 on who won correct, or 7? No, 6. Yeah, 6 out of the 8 correct on who won, but then and then 5 out of 8 for in how many games. So it was there, getting there. So we can compare that. And then we're going to go over the second round in the WHL playoffs. We're going to go over the matchups, how they're doing so far. We're going to recap their regular season series and give you guys an idea of how they're doing in the postseason. We do already have a sweep, which we will talk about once we get to that. But we are also with some tied series and some series going to a game 6. There's 2 game 7s that we're going to be needing here, and then 1 game 6. And we're going to go over all of that and more, including stats leaders, very shortly. So, again, thank you so much for everybody for being patient with us as we had to take a little break, and we are so excited to be back. We're going to first go over the players of the week for the week starting April 7th, and then the 14th, and then this week, which is today, the 21st. So Tanner, if you want to start us off by reading giving us the player of the week for April 7th.
April 7th. The player of the week was Berkeley Catton. That was the 3rd time he's won the award, and also he was player of the month in February. He paced all WHL skaters with 2 goals and 8 assists for 10 points in 3 games as the Chiefs eliminated the Vancouver Giants in the first round. He's ranked second. Was at the time ranked second in points among all skaters with 14 points with 4 goals, 10 assists, only behind Gavin McKenna, and he had only been held pointless once in the entire postseason. So
nice. Then for our rookie of the week, Adrien, if you want to go ahead and go over that for the rookie of the week for the week of the 7th.
Mm-hmm. So the rookie of the week for the 7th was Shea Bush. He led all rookies with 5 points, 4 goals, 1 assist in 3 games as the regular season champion Tips took their first series lead against the T-Birds. He led all WHL rookies in postseason points with 5 goals and 2 assists for 7 points in 5 games. He was on a 7-game point streak stretching back to the regular season.
Amazing. For our goalie of the week for the week of the 7th, was Anders Miller. Miller led all WHL goalies with a 2.000 record, a 1.50 goals against average that week, and a .941 save percentage to complete a sweep of the Saskatoon Blades in round 1 of the WHL playoffs. He is 4.000 in his first trip to the WHL playoffs as of the 7th, with a 1.5 goals against average and a .933 save percentage. He led all goalies as of April 7th in goals against average and is second in save percentage. Miller posted a 13.402 record in his first WHL campaign with a 2.32 goals against average, a .909 save percentage, and 1 shutout. Now we're going to go ahead and go on to the week of the 14th, so the second week of April. Who was our player of the week, Tanner?
The player of the week was Landon DuPont, his 3rd time being named player of the week, and he had 2 rookie of the week and 2 monthly honors, and soon to be 1 more because he was also spoiler alert. He led his team with 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points and a +3 rating in 2 games as the Tips beat the Winterhawks. He has 7 points, 1 goal, and 6 assists in 5 games. He sat 3rd in scoring among all rookies through his 1.40 points per game average. His 1.40 point per game average leads all first-year players. He's also fourth in plus-minus with a +5 rating.
For our rookie of the week, Adrien, who was our rookie of the week for the week of the 14th?
The rookie of the week was Daxton Rudolph, Prince Albert. It's the second time he was picked rookie of the week, in addition to one rookie of the month win in January. He led all skaters in points with 1 goal and 4 assists, as well as a +4 rating in 3 games. He led all rookies with 11 points in 9 postseason games. He's third amongst all defensemen in points and second in assists. He was.
Our goalie of the week for the second week of April was Jackson Unger. This is the second time that he had earned the weekly award this season. Veteran led all WHL goalies with a 2.000 record, a 0.50 goals against average. I'm so jealous. And an immaculate .985 save percentage. Again, jealous. And 1 shutout as his Hurricanes jumped out to an impressive 2-0 series lead against the rival Calgary Hitmen. He made a statement on the road with a 33 save shutout in their 4-0 Game 1 win against the Hitmen. He as of the 14th, was 6-1-0-0 in playoffs so far. His 6 wins lead all goaltenders, while his 2.15 goals against average ranks 4th, and his .933 save percentage is 3rd. And now we are caught up to this week. This week, for the week of the 21st, today, who was our player of the week, Tanner?
The player of the week was Cole Reshny from Victoria. He led all skaters with 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points in 4 games. He's tied for first in the playoff scoring race with 25 points, which is 9 goals, 16 assists in 10 games, while sitting 4th in goals with 9. He's also 5th among all skaters in face-off wins with 127. He hasn't been held off the score sheet yet in the entirety of playoffs and has recorded 3 or more points on 4 occasions. He's ranked 25th among all North American skaters in the NHL Central Scouting rankings ahead of the draft this summer.
It's crazy. The draft is coming up so fast. Like, I don't think it's quite hit me that it's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be here so soon. So many players that we know are going to be. That's so wild. Who is our rookie of the week? Not that you spoiled it a few minutes ago.
Yeah, definitely not Landon DuPont, but again.
Definitely
He paced all first-year skaters with 3 goals and 4 assists for 7 points in 4 games. He's ranked 4th among all WHL defensemen and leads all rookies in postseason scoring with 4 goals and 10 assists, 14 points in 9 games. He's only been held off the score sheet twice and has 6 multi-point outings in his first trip to the playoffs.
Nice. For our goalie of the week this week, it is Harrison Minigan. This is the 4th time that he has earned the weekly award this season, in addition to 2 goaltender of the month recognitions, which is very impressive. Minigan is 6.000 so far in the playoffs with a 2.00 goals against average, a .910 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. He is from South Surrey, BC, and he leads all goalies in goals against average right now and shutouts, while recording the 2nd most wins and sitting 8th in save percentage. He was named a WHL Central Division first All-Star team member in 2024 and second team All-Star member in 2023. He played some of his finest hockey in his final season of WHL eligibility. So congratulations to him. Wonderful career that is still going. And then, so yes, we are now caught up on players of the week for the past month. And now we get to go over the first round results. I'll go ahead and just quickly breeze through these for you guys. We had for the Eastern Conference, we had the Tigers versus Broncos. I'm going to pull up our brackets and humble ourselves.
I was looking at, and I think we had it mixed up because I think we had whoever won Victoria and Tri-City playing whoever won against the Everett series. So
it would have been that. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. It would have been that if Seattle had won, they would have gone against Victoria because Victoria was the higher. They were the number 2 seed, and Seattle was the number 8 seed. So it would have been 2 versus 8. But because Everett won, they're the number 1 seed, so they went up against 1 versus 4.
That makes sense.
Yes. So we would have been right if
we were right.
Managed to win, but they did not. I had hope Hope was not enough. So for round 1 for our Eastern Conference, it was the Tigers versus Broncos. I personally had the Medicine Hat Tigers winning in 5. Adrien had Medicine Hat winning, and then Tanner also had Medicine Hat winning in 5. And we were correct. Tigers won the series 4-1 in 5 games. Raiders versus Oil Kings. I got humbled here. The Raiders. I guessed Edmonton in 6. Adrien guessed Edmonton, and then Tanner also guessed. Tanner got it right. Tanner guessed Prince Albert in 7, and that was what it was. It was the Prince Albert Raiders won 4-3 in the series. So Tanner's the only one out of us that got that one right. Great job, buddy. And then Blades versus Hitman. We all got this. Unfortunately, this series Hitman won the series 4-0, and we all predicted that. And then the Lethbridge Hurricanes versus the Brandon Wheat Kings. That one was, I guessed Lethbridge in 5. Adrien also guessed Lethbridge, and then Tanner guessed Lethbridge in 5 as well. And that is what it was. It was a 4-1 series win for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Silvertips versus Thunderbirds. I had hope that the underdog would prevail. They did not, unfortunately. So I guess Seattle in 6. I was really hoping. And then they pushed to game 7, and I was really sad. And I was like, oh, great, here we go. We have to win it. And then I say we as if I was part of them. But I was really hoping just for underdog, just because myself, I just played in, I have a personal bias. I just played in my own playoffs, and I was the last seed team. And I also lost in the first round of playoffs, and I was really hoping that I could pull through and pull what I was hoping the Thunderbirds would do. But unfortunately, I just followed in the Thunderbirds' footsteps myself. So Adrien and Tanner, ow! Sorry, my cat just bit my foot really hard. I'm so sorry. That was really loud. Adrien had Seattle winning, and then Tanner had Everett winning in 7, and unfortunately, Tanner was correct for that one. So Everett won the series 4-3 for the for that series. Sorry for screaming in y'all's ear. My cat has really sharp teeth. For the Victoria Royals versus the Tri-City Americans, I guessed Victoria in 5. Adrien guessed Victoria, and Tanner also guessed Victoria in 5. And guess what? They won in 5. It was a 4-1 series win for the Victoria Royals. For the Chiefs versus Giants, that one I think I also got right. It was, I guessed Spokane in 5. Adrien also guessed Spokane, and then Tanner guessed Spokane in 5 as well. And it was a 4-1 series win for the Chiefs, so they did win in 5. And then the Cougars versus Winterhawks, I got the who won right, but I was unfortunately wrong about how many games. I guessed Portland in 6. Adrien guessed Prince George, and Tanner guessed Prince George in 7, but it was actually Portland in 7, and I was right there. So take that in your PA win. So that was our playoff predictions for the first round, and then comparing those to what actually happened. So I was in total 6 for 8, and then if you're including how many games it took, I was 5 for 8. So I was on a good streak for a minute where I got Calgary right, and then Medicine Hat after that, and then I think it was Lethbridge, then Vic, then Spoke, I think. Either way, it was like bing bang boom. I kept getting them right by like both who won and how many games, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got this in the bag, and I did not, unfortunately, have it in the bag.
It really seemed like 5 was the magic number for a lot of those
I
series.
know, for real. A lot of
if you guessed 5, you got 5.
Yeah. Fun. I need at least to go over and redo my second round matchups because Everett winning kind of my entire last bit of the thing. And we are also so as we're about to go over, the series are very, very close. Very, very, very close. Except for one, which is already over. So we have so Tanner, if you want to go ahead and go over the Med Hat and Prince Albert Raiders series there. And then Adrien, I'll have you recap the Hitmen and the Hurricanes, and then I'll do a. Oop, I just hit a button that I did not mean to. Thank you, Taika. And then I will hit the U.S. division on, or at least the Western Conference on my side here. So if you want to go ahead and go over Medicine Hat and Prince Albert, that would be great.
So yeah, the Tigers and Prince Albert was only a 4-game series, which one of them we got to go to. It was very fun. Med Hat's fun.
Oh, am I frozen or are you frozen?
And then in the season series, Med Hat also had won that series of winning 3 of the 4 games they played against each other, with 17 goals to Prince Albert's 12, 179 shots to Prince Albert's 107, 110 face-off wins to Prince Albert's 119. They were 4 for 14 on the power play, and Prince Albert was 4 for 17 on the power play, and Med Hat was 13 for 17 on the PK, and Prince Albert was 10 for 14. And for player highlights, we had for Med Hat, Harrison Menigan, again, shout out, in his 11 career playoff games, he had a 3.28 goals against average and a .886 save percentage. Despite not being expected to play any game of playoffs, he asked to play, and he made his first game was a 21 save shutout, which was his first ever playoff win and also shutout at the same time. So good for him. I mean, playing 6 playoff games now after his rough situation is crazy.
Right. Absolutely.
And he's playing so well. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also had a goalie for Prince Albert, Max Hildebrand. He was the Raiders MVP last season, and this season was no different. In 15 career playoff games, he had a 3.00 goals against average and a .912 save percentage. His first career playoff shutout was in Game 7 versus Edmonton when they won the series. Yeah, he was so good. He kept the Raiders in the series.
Yeah.
For a lot of it. He was.
Yeah. I would say he
crazy.
carried, but he's been incredible for that team, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they fill that goalie hole now that he's because he was the one of their 20s this year.
Do you guys know who his backup is?
Oh my goodness,
Fortin.
I don't remember what his first name was.
That is something that I'm excited to look at is the up and coming goalies for next season, seeing who's taking the starter spots and who's a place for themselves.
Dimitri Fortin, I want to say.
Dimitri Fortin. Yeah. I knew it was a D name.
Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty, and then Adrien, if you want to go over the Calgary Hitmen and the Lethbridge Hurricanes and where they're at in the series right now and what is going to happen or could happen.
So between the Hitmen and the Hurricanes, the series is tied 3-3. They have Game 7 tomorrow.
I think so.
That is what I'm looking up right now. It occurred to me that I include the dates in here. So you keep talking. I'll find dates.
Yeah. So in the regular season, Calgary won the 6 of the 8 games they played. It was 27 goals to the Lethbridge's 18, 260 shots to Lethbridge's 185, 245 face-off wins to the Canes 212. There were 5 on 29 in the power play to the Canes 524. And then, the PK, they were 19 of 24, and Lethbridge was 24 of 29. 29, that feels crazy.
Right.
So some player highlights. For Calgary, in his first WHL playoff games, Anders Miller posted a 1.50 goals against and a 0.33 save percentage. Well, he got 2.34 goals against and a 0.909, there we go, save percentage in 22 regular season games.
Also crazy that, he really stepped it up for playoffs considering he's the backup to Hauser.
Yeah.
And expected Hauser to play in playoffs, but then he's injured.
I feel like he's back now, but he was injured, yeah.
And so that's crazy for him to come from being the backup to putting up such good stats.
I love stuff like that. Like watching Switzer. He played the game we went to. Yeah, and he was really good. And it's so fun to see the backup guys get a lot of light in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
As far as Lethbridge goes, in 32 playoff games, Jackson Unger has a 2.93 goals against and a. You guys really. I don't like reading these stats. I'm so. And a 0.909 save percentage. He got his first ever playoff shutout in round 2, game 1, which was also the Hurricanes' first road playoff shutout in the internet era. It's so fun when things are the internet era.
Internet era, right?
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
we could just say
I've
modern
done-
history. I feel like modern history sounds cooler. In my opinion.
But apparently Hauser came back for one game and then got injured again. So
Oh, bud. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yes.
Okay, I did put in the next game there for Calgary.
yes.
So yeah, Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Day after tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, and then I have this really quick. Sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm hearing noises. Okay, so next we have for the Western Conference, the Everett Silvertips versus the Portland Winterhawks, an iconic matchup and rivalry, which is I just think an amazing matchup to have for the second round of playoffs. Also, having the I-5 rivalry be the first 2 rounds of playoffs for Western Conference is just amazing. I think the Everett versus Seattle and now Everett versus Portland, and it being so close in both, like the fact that both series have had to go to Game 7 is incredible, and is interesting. So the series is tied 3-3 at the moment for the Silvertips versus the Winterhawks. Next game is going to be at Everett tomorrow at 7 p.m. PST. For the season series, Everett won their series 6-2 for the 8 games total that they saw each other. Everett had 36 goals versus Portland's 18, 323 shots versus Portland's 228. 249 face-off wins versus Portland's 247. They were 7 for 30 on the power play, while Portland was 4 for 31. And then they were 27 for 31 on the penalty kill, while Portland was 23 for 30. For player highlights, we have highlighted Austin Roost for the Everett Silvertips. In 23 playoff games, he has had 12 goals and 13 assists. And then for Portland, we have highlighted Kyle Chizowski, who has tallied 39 points, 15 goals, and 24 assists in 46 playoff games. He currently has 14 points in round 1. Again, that series is tied 3-3, and the deciding game is on Tuesday tomorrow. So that's exciting, and we want to know who you're rooting for. So feel free to check out our Twitter, where I will be hosting a series of polls shortly on getting who's rooting for who and who thinks will win. Because those can also sometimes be different. It can be who you're rooting for. It can be totally different from who you think will actually win. Believe me, I know. Now for our Victoria Royals versus the Spokane Chiefs series, the Chiefs currently lead the series 3-2, so they are going to Game 6. If they win their Game 6, then they win the series and they go on to the next round. And then if the Victoria Royals win, then they force a Game 7, which will be so fun. So their next game is going to be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. or 7:05 p.m. technically. And for the season series, Spokane won the series 3-1. Victoria had 9 goals for Spokane's 20, 110 shots for Spokane's 144, 127 face-off wins for Spokane's 141. The Royals were 3 for 17 on the power play, while Spokane was 6 for 16. And then the Royals were 10 for 16 on the penalty kill, while the Chiefs were 14 for 17. Player highlights for Victoria, we've highlighted Brandon Lazowski, who in 44 playoff games has 17 goals and 24 assists. And since being traded to Victoria in January, he has tallied 31 points in 32 games. So on very close to a point per game average. Spokane, we are highlighting Andrew Crystal, who in 24 playoff games has 32 points, 12 games, and 20 assists. Since being traded to the Chiefs, he has been part of one of the craziest lines ever, tallying 72 points in 29 games played, which is I was about to say way too many, but that's not a thing in hockey. It is nearly 2.5 points per game, which is insane. And that line, we've talked about it a million times. Every time we bring up Crystal, that offensive line, and it's just so good and such a good. It's always really cool seeing a player fit into an already existing line and then just really. And Crystal has done that for sure. 72 points in 29 games played is crazy. That line is the infamous Crystal, Catton, Van Olm line, who Catton and Van Olm were on a line with Roulette last year, and they were also an insane line. So it's really, really awesome. And their line has combined for 32 points in round one. That is a lot. They are doing great. Yeah, so again, they are going to Game 6 on Wednesday. If the Chiefs win, they go to the next round. If the Royals win, they force a Game 7. And if that happens, we'll give you all the deets on what when that is. For our last but not least for this week, we're going to go over our stats leaders for who's leading in points, goals, assists, and then our goalie stats, as we always do, but we saved it for last this time. So Tan, if you want to go ahead and read off who are our points leaders for this week.
So for this week, the points leaders, first is Cole Reshney with 25. It's actually pretty much a three-way tie for first place. His second is Berkeley Catton with 25, and third is Tyson Jugnoff with 25. And then in fourth place, right under there is Crystal with 24 points.
Not that he's trailing by a lot.
So
really close.
Yeah.
And then our goals, Adrien, if you want to read over who is leading in goals.
So yeah, for goals, first is Andrew Crystal with 12, and then in second, two-way tie between Kyle Chizowski and Oasis Weisblatt with 10, and then fourth is Cole Reshney with 9.
Sorry, Cat had some goop in it. It was bothering. And then who is our assist leaders?
For the assists is Tyson Jugnoff in first with 22. Second is Berkeley Catton with 18. And third is Gavin McKenna with 16.
Wow. Amazing. And then we have our goalies. For goals against average, it is, of course, in first, Harrison Minigan of Medicine Hat with a 2.00. Johnny Hicks of the Victoria Royals is in second with a 2.10. And then Calgary, Anders Miller is not far behind with a 2.49 in third. Save percentage for Victoria is Johnny Hicks in first with a 0.939. Vancouver's Brady Smith is in second with a 0.929. And then Everett's Braden Legal is in third with a 0.921. Again, not very far apart from each other, pretty close. And then last but not least, our wins, because we have so many. It's a four-way tie for first. So with all of these four players have 7 wins so far. Calgary's Anders Miller, Spokane's Dawson Cowan, Lethbridge's Jackson Unger, and then Portland's Andre Stebatok. They all have 7 wins. And then Harrison Minigan is coming right up on the right up behind with 6 wins. And he is, of course, as we've mentioned, from Medicine Hat. So that is a lot of information that we just threw at you guys. And thank you so much for being patient with us as we catch up on a couple of weeks that we missed. Again, I was just dealing with some health issues and just needed some time away. And I really appreciate everybody's grace as I took that. But we are back and we are having a great time. So make sure that you tune in next week. We're going to be basically going over the same stuff. And also we will hopefully have our well, I mean, by the time that next week rolls around, our brackets are not even going to be like, there's no point in updating them. I feel at this point, it's kind of a little bit too late for that. For
third round, we'll just guess. We'll put our we'll just series.
When I had Seattle winning, when I was a little bit head in the clouds for a minute. When I had Seattle versus Victoria, I had Victoria winning in 5. Clearly that's not going to be a thing with Spokane, since they're going to Game 6, and Victoria, if they are going to win the series, they need to win in 7. And then I had Spokane versus Portland, and obviously that is not a matchup, so Everett versus Portland. And then that one, because I didn't have either team Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't even know what the heck I was going to do there. I'm so excited for tomorrow night's game with Everett versus Portland because I'm really excited to see who's going to make it out of that. I feel like it's a toss-up. At my game last night, somebody was mentioning how the Winterhawks keep winning games that they need to and then keep losing games that they need to. And I was like, that, I mean, kind of makes sense. And that's how it goes in hockey. So I feel like either team really has a really good shot. Both teams have really strong players, and they are pretty well evenly matched in terms of postseason. And the regular season, of course, Everett was triumphant, as you could tell from the stats that we just gave you guys. But postseason, they seem to be pretty even strength. For my Eastern Conference round 2, I'm looking above my computer because I have it on the wall behind me. But I had Medicine Hat beating Edmonton, but obviously it was PA instead. So still technically got that. And then I had Calgary versus Lethbridge. I had Calgary winning in 6. And it might be it's looking like it'll be in 7 if I manage to pull out that win. Lethbridge might surprise us and win in 7. But I have a chance of getting at least the team right. And then I'm going to put up a little poll for round 2 to see who you guys are voting for, rooting for, and who you think will actually win. Because again, like we mentioned earlier, that can be different. We have yeah, we're on track. It's gonna be great. And here we go. I think it's gonna be fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in, and I really hope that you guys just follow us on everything. Our usernames are on the screen. So follow us on the usernames are going to be the same across all platforms for Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. So make sure that you follow us there for updates on when we go live and how often we go live, and if you ever, because we do have sometimes some viewer interaction stuff. So if you want to submit your playoff bracket, or if you have any questions for us specifically, or if you want to hear our opinions on certain things, let us know. We are happy to do that. So thank you so much again for everybody tuning in, and we will see you next week.